Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Just out on a little local ride, just did a bit of a camera test. Got myself over Christmas one of these GoPro Hero session cameras. Hopefully you can see it just mounted on the bars there. I bought myself a little mount for a couple of quid off of eBay. That just means it's very small and light and can just sit there, and maybe I thought might give a bit of extra interest to these sort of vlog type videos that I do occasionally. So hopefully that's working okay. So I'm just going to run these two cameras in the future, maybe not always, but because it does add to the editing nightmare, but just give a bit of variety to my shots anyway. So there we go. So this is just purely a test video to see how that GoPro session gets on. So might be a really boring video, I apologise in advance, but there we go. Sometimes these things have to be done, and I may not even post it, but there we go. So it's really for my purposes. Anyway, stick around, stay tuned, let's see what happens. Well, it's I'm glad to say the weather's warmed up a little bit. It's 7.5 degrees according to my sat nav here, which is the warmest it's been for some time. We're just out of the Christmas period now, everybody's gone back to work. I'm still on my sabbatical, so work doesn't apply to me. Haha, lucky old me. Don't know how long that's going to last, but we'll see. But so it does mean I can come out on the bike in great comfort and not have to worry too much about ice on the roads. Because whilst I'm not too worried about actually riding in cold weather, me personally, I've got my heated grips and good kit and so on. What I don't like doing is riding in ice. When I took my bike test several years ago, I actually had a couple of tests cancelled because of ice. So I'm pretty used to riding in ice, and in fact I learnt to ride in the winter when it was very icy. So I sort of learnt the hard way that if you don't have to, don't ride on ice. And I kind of stick with that mantra now. Anyway, glad to say no sign of ice today. Can't happen. It's actually got up to 8.5 degrees now. So that's all good. Sun's just come out, even better. Roads are a bit damp, but the bike is lovely and toasty with the grips on. We're in road mode, all is well. Plenty of fuel on board. What more do you want? So one of the reasons for testing the GoPro session, well, a couple of things. One, I want to just see what the picture quality is like when I'm on the bike, how shaky it is and so on. Theoretically, it's a 60 frame per second camera, which is the same as my newish GoPro Hero 4 that I bought a few months back, which I've been really pleased with. I think it's really improved the quality of my on-bike videos. Just again, the 60 frames a second thing, and I'm hoping that the GoPro session, when I in the edits go between the two, I'm hoping that there's going to be a very limited change in quality. I guess the session's got the same camera gut, same lens, etc. It's just minus things like the LCD back drivers, big battery, that sort of thing. So theoretically, at least, it should be a pretty comparable picture coming out of the session as it is coming out of this big monstrosity on the side of my helmet. And I call it a big monstrosity, but actually I love this the GoPros. They're just fantastic. I mean, to be fair, I've not tried any of the others, the drifts and all that stuff that's out there, and those look quite cool with the sort of bullet kind of design, don't they? And these things sticking out your head don't look cool. But picture quality wise, can't really fault them. Ask this fella. Gave me a little hoot. Wonder if he knows me. Let's go and have a look down ye olde Amersham way. Why go on a boring dual carriageway if you can go through a nice town? Not sure of the logic of that, but old Amersham is undeniably a very nice town. So I hope you had a good Christmas and New Year break. Took some time to relax, unwind, see some family and friends, eat loads of food, drink lots of beer, that sort of thing. The usual. I certainly did. Although, as I mentioned before, rather smugly, my life these days is all just one big bit of R&R. Well, as much as it can be when you're in a family with a couple of teenage kids. I mean, I imagine it's pretty similar to the life of a taxi driver without a couple of teenage kids, but there we go, that's just the way it works. This really is my least favourite time of year though now. We're in the depths of winter. I really need to get through January and February before I can start to brighten my mood. The only good thing about winter as far as I'm concerned is that it gives you the opportunity, if you're lucky enough, to go skiing, which is something I certainly plan to do this year. Got a couple of ski breaks planned, looking forward to those very much. And that just drags me through the darkness of winter. It's not so much the cold wet weather that and icy weather that I don't like about winter. It's just the darkness, the fact that it gets dark at sort of 4 o'clock. It's just horrible. And already, I'm recording this early January, already the evenings are starting to pull out a little bit, so there's hope round the corner. Well, I'm not really sure where I'm going to go. Haven't really thought this route through. I just had a spare hour and thought I'll just come out on the bike and give this camera a test. So I hope it's working okay. It's going to be interesting to see how much more difficult the edit becomes, because it has to be said, if you're just recording from one camera, what's he doing? Come on then, lady, pull out in front of me, why not? I don't know. It has to be said, if you're just editing from one camera, it's a lot easier than doing it from multiple cameras, because you don't have to, you know, sync up the shots and sync up audio and all that kind of thing. Which is partly why I got my visor down, so if I do have to sync up audio, hello sir, I don't have to worry about it being completely in sync, because hopefully you can't see my lips. Good, getting rid of Lexus lady to Tesco. She's decided to indicate this time, so she's improving her driving all the time. Is it me? It might just be that I'm getting old, but is the general standard of driving around the place getting worse? I don't understand why that should be, because certainly driving tests are getting much more difficult, and it's harder to pass your tests, so you'd think if anything driving standards would be getting better, but I guess there's now a lot more people on the roads than there used to be, so certainly the streets are a lot busier. And of course we have an ageing population, so maybe it's just that a lot of the drivers now, depending on where you live, are getting a little older. You know, I have nothing against old people, I pretty much am one myself soon, but you know, I don't want to be ageist, but some of the very elderly drivers you see, I really don't think should be on the road. They fail to indicate, they do random things, they drive at the inappropriate speeds for the roads. I think there is some rule in this country, I'm sure somebody will correct me, that I think when you turn 70 you then have to reapply for your licence, but there's no test or anything like that, so it's not like they actually check to see if you're competent still. I guess it just gets rid of the ones that maybe are medically unfit to drive, I don't know. It seems a bit of, you know, one of those rules or laws that's kind of lip service. You know, what possible good can it do just applying on paper for a new licence without there being some sort of a requirement for another test? But there we go. Be interested to hear how other countries do that. Okay, not sure this was a great idea. Still very busy on the road, so I assume by now everybody will be back at work, but maybe everybody's taking a sabbatical. Let's go this way. So by way of an update on the grip puppies, I fitted these a few months back. I did a video on that, which got a surprising amount of views actually. It was just, I thought, as I was fitting them, I might as well do a little video on them. I'm always on the search for new content, and I thought it would be worth doing in case anybody else is fitting them. And I got actually quite a lot of views and quite a lot of feedback on that video. And one of the constant themes was, you know, are they any good, you know, through the gloves, and what about in the rain? And I can report on both counts, no problem. When it rains, they do of course get wet, but, and I don't know if it's because I tend to have the heated grips on this time of year, but they dry out pretty quick. So them being sodden isn't an ongoing issue, which is great. And they're very comfy, and you can feel the heated grips through them very well. I mean, The grips on the GS go quite hot anyway. Obviously I've got my winter gloves on, and I've got the grip buddies on, but I can feel that they're, you know, there's a lot of heat coming through, so that's great. Just get really quick. Okay, this might be my opportunity to get away from the traffic a bit. Let's avoid heading into Chesham Boyce, great name. Go more country. Cyclists are out. So just going back to the little GoPro session, what I don't know with it is what the sort of focal length is like on it, how wide a shot you're getting, whether it's just my head, whether you're getting my shoulders, whether it's too much sky, what have you. So that's one of the reasons for this test, of course, to have a look at that. And whether it's comparable with the very wide view that you get off the GoPro on my head, which I've got set on what GoPro calls super wide, which I quite like as a view, but it does tend to make things look like you're going a lot faster than you are, because it's a very wide view and it shoots by quickly. And also you get from this camera, as I'm sure you've noticed, you can see the side of my helmet, which I find a bit distracting on vlog type things, but so I could angle it out a bit, but then you wouldn't be seeing head on and seeing what I'm seeing. So I may have to set the field of view on the helmet camera more narrower to sort of more closely match the session on the handlebars. Now I've mounted that session, as you can see, right in the middle of the handlebars. I was a bit worried it might foul the ignition keys and so on, but it doesn't at all. There's plenty of room behind there. Obviously I can't see the key from here, but I know that it's on because the bike is running, so that's not an issue at all. And in terms of obscuring the display, the instrument display, it's only obscuring for me the clock at the bottom, which isn't a big problem because I tend to run a clock on the sat-nav at the top, so it's not obscuring anything crucial. I can see what mode I'm in, road, I can see the gear indicator, temperatures, etc. Blimey, 8 degrees now, positively tropical. So from that point of view, session's a hit. But a lot of people will say that they use these, so I'm hoping now with this setup, I've spent quite a bit of money on these cameras in the last few months, that this together with my Nikon DSLR and my lenses that I use for my still photography anyway, basically is going to be a good enough setup to keep me going through this year with no need for any further upgrades. One day, and a few people have suggested, I'd really love to get a drone, because just those pictures you see from these drones are epic, and the modern day drones, particularly the GoPro one, actually the new one, is just unbelievable. They are amazing bits of kit, but they are so expensive, and I can't really justify that cost, particularly at the moment with me not working. Have I mentioned that? But I assume over the years the costs will come down, so one day there will be mist and flyer flying footage that's from a drone and not from an aeroplane cockpit. Which, by the way, I've had a bit of an influx of new subscribers lately, actually. I don't know if that's due to the new cameras or the sorts of videos I've been posting, I don't know, but whatever it is, thanks very much for subscribing. And if you are a new subscriber, you may not realise actually that the reason why I call myself the Missing and Flyer is because my other hobby, or one of my other hobbies aside from riding motorcycles, is flying light aircraft, and that's how the channel started. I used to post videos of me flying in my plane. Sadly, they didn't get many viewers, so I stopped doing that, although I'm still a keen pilot. I will and have posted 1 or 2 videos recently, but I don't sort of make them public when I post them, so if you see them there and you find them and watch them, then that means you're actively looking for them. I don't sort of do them public so that all my motorbiking fans get to know about them. I don't want to make people think that you know, if you're not interested in flying, then you don't want to be watching flying videos on my channel. Wait for it, thank you. I only mention it because you'll say you may not realise why I call myself the Mr. Flyer, and you might be interested in seeing some aeroplane footage. So there is a playlist. I've got a few playlists on the main page on the site. I've got a trips and tours one, which is, as it suggests, all my trips and tours. of which I've done a few. There's a French one in there, plus there's loads around Britain. I've got one that contains all my reviews, bike rides and of kit and so on that I've been doing. I've got a flying playlist, and I've got a sort of catch-all one that I just call Biking Bits and Pieces. Oh, hello. Nice. Sorry, distracted there. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Biking Bits and Pieces, which is basically everything else. So check those out if you didn't know that the playlists were there. Well, it really is very pleasant out here today. Maybe winter's not so bad after all. Oh, this little junction I'm coming up to now is a killer. The design on this is just horrible, in that if you want to turn left as I do, actually getting visibility, you're blocked by the give way sign there and the directional sign on the right. So when you're at the stop line, you can't actually see what's coming along the road because of the angle of the road. So I don't know if the camera shows it. Oh, actually not from this point, I can see it at the moment. But if you're riding up to it and you want to kind of, you suspect it's free and you therefore want to ride straight out, you can't because that sign's in the way. Anyway, not much they can do about that, I suppose, other than move the sign back, and then it no doubt falls foul of some sort of regulations on signage. Anyway, as I said, just a rambling vlog really. I haven't got much to say. It's really just about testing the cameras. I hope it's worked. If I've posted this up, then I must think that there's something of marginal interest at least that's worth posting. Sorry if I've bored you to tears. But anyway, there we are. That's kind of a bit of an update on one or two bits and pieces, and why hopefully you're going to see a bit more of these sort of camera angles in future vlogs. Alright, well, let's hope the winter in Blight isn't too harsh. If you're watching abroad, I hope your winter isn't too harsh. I know there's quite a lot of Canadian viewers to the channel, and they have a sort of an off-season for biking. I always feel very sorry for them because the temperatures just get stupidly cold there, and then you're talking about ice and snow all the time. There's no fun riding in ice or snow unless you're on a bike designed for it, of course. I've got a video on riding in the snow, by the way, on my CRF. Check that out if you haven't seen it. Anyway, so yeah, hope the winter's kind to you if you're in a country that's winter at the moment. If you're in a country like Australia or South Africa where it's the middle of summer, number one, I'm hugely envious, and I hope you're getting out on the bike. And you know, I'm watching quite a lot of videos at the moment of other bikers, so really enjoying looking at your sunny weather, and I'm seething with jealousy, but enjoying those. So make the most of it because it'll be your turn soon. And on that note, as I come back to Great Missenden in glorious Buckinghamshire, it's time for me to sign off. Until next time, this has been the Missenden Flyer. Cheerio.